If you enjoyed this audiobook, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Sharing it with your friends and family helps spread knowledge. And when we help others grow, we grow too. Thank you so much for listening. Let's dive into the audiobook. Chapter 1, The Retirement Dream, Laying the Groundwork. Part 1, Why Retirement Planning Matters. Imagine reaching age 67 only to discover your golden years require more money than you ever anticipated, while your savings fall dangerously short of covering even basic needs. This scenario plays out for millions of Americans who postponed retirement planning, thinking they had plenty of time to figure things out later. The stark reality hits when you realize retirement isn't simply about stopping work. It represents potentially 2 to 3 decades of life, requiring careful financial orchestration. Consider Warren Buffett's observation about compound interest being the 8th wonder of the world. A 25-year-old contributing $200 monthly to a retirement account earning 7% annually will accumulate roughly $525,000 by age 65. Wait until age 35 to start, and that same monthly contribution grows to only $245,000. That 10-year delay costs $280,000 in lost opportunity. The psychological benefits of having a retirement plan extend far beyond numbers on a statement. Dr. Robert Butler's landmark research on aging revealed that people with clear retirement plans experience significantly less anxiety about their future. They sleep better, report higher life satisfaction, and maintain stronger relationships because financial uncertainty isn't constantly weighing on their minds. Without a plan, you're essentially playing financial roulette with your future self. Many people underestimate retirement's emotional complexity. When IBM offered early retirement packages in the 1990s, employees who jumped at the opportunity without proper planning often struggled with identity loss and purposelessness. Those who had prepared financially and mentally for this transition thrived in their new chapter. Healthcare costs alone demand serious consideration. The Employee Benefit Research Institute found that a 65-year-old couple retiring today needs approximately $300,000 saved specifically for medical expenses throughout retirement. This figure excludes long-term care, which can easily add another $100,000 to $200,000 to lifetime costs. Starting small makes a profound difference. Financial planner Christine Benz documented countless cases where individuals beginning with just $50 monthly contributions eventually built substantial retirement wealth. The key lies in consistency and gradual increases over time, rather than waiting for the perfect moment to begin. Social Security alone won't suffice for most people's retirement needs. The average monthly benefit replaces roughly 40% of pre-retirement income, while most retirees need 70% to 80% of their working income to maintain their standard of living. The gap between what Social Security provides and what you actually need grows larger each year due to inflation. The peace of mind that comes from knowing you're prepared for retirement affects every aspect of your current life. You make career decisions from a position of strength rather than desperation. You can weather economic downturns without panic because you've built financial resilience over time. Part 2, Imagining Your Ideal Retirement Life. When Warren Buffett was asked about his greatest investment, he didn't mention Coca-Cola or Apple. He talked about envisioning the life he wanted and working backward from there. This approach transforms retirement planning from a numbers game into something deeply personal and motivating. Most people approach retirement planning backwards. They start with financial calculations and hope their money stretches to cover whatever life they end up living. But research from Morningstar shows that retirees who begin with a clear vision of their ideal lifestyle report 47% higher satisfaction rates than those who focus solely on accumulating assets. Consider the story of Maria Santos, a nurse from Phoenix who transformed her retirement planning at age 45. Instead of asking, "How much do I need to save?" she started with, "What does my perfect Tuesday look like when I'm 67?" Her answer surprised her. She wanted to volunteer at the local animal shelter, tend a vegetable garden, and have coffee with friends without watching the clock. This vision changed everything about her financial strategy. Christine Benz, Director of Personal Finance at Morningstar, discovered something fascinating when studying successful retirees. Those who could describe their retirement in vivid detail were 3 times more likely to reach their financial goals. Why? Because specific dreams create specific action plans. Your retirement vision should feel as real as your current morning routine. Where do you wake up? What do you see outside your window? Are you in the same house, a smaller condo, or perhaps a cottage by the lake? Do you smell coffee brewing in your kitchen? Or are you picking fresh oranges in a warmer climate? The Japanese concept of ikigai suggests that fulfillment comes from having a sense of purpose. Retirement planning expert Wade Pfau found that retirees who identify their post-career purpose before retiring experience smoother transitions and better financial outcomes. They're more motivated to save because they're saving for something meaningful, not just avoiding poverty. Think about your relationships too. Ed Slott, the retirement tax expert, often tells clients that money is just a tool for connection. Will you be closer to grandchildren? Do you envision hosting family dinners or traveling with your spouse? These social elements dramatically affect both your housing needs and your budget. Your health goals also shape your financial requirements. A retiree planning to hike national parks faces different costs than someone expecting to need assisted living. Neither scenario is better or worse, but each requires different financial preparation. The most successful retirement visioning exercise involves writing a detailed day-in-the-life narrative. Start with waking up on a typical Wednesday 5 years after you retire. What happens next? This isn't fantasy. It's strategic planning. Each detail you imagine has financial implications that will guide your saving strategy and help you determine exactly what financial freedom means for your unique situation. Part 3. Understanding what you need to retire. When financial planner Christine Benz reviewed thousands of retirement portfolios over her career, she discovered something startling. Most people dramatically underestimated their retirement expenses by an average of 40%. Even more surprising was what they consistently forgot to include. It wasn't luxury items or exotic travel causing the gap. It was the mundane, everyday costs that catch retirees off guard. Think of retirement planning like preparing for a long camping trip. You pack carefully for the activities you've planned, but the unexpected rainstorm or broken camping gear can derail your budget. The same principle applies to retirement expenses. The obvious costs like housing and food are easy to identify. The hidden ones require more detective work. Housing expenses shift in retirement, but rarely disappear. Even if you own your home outright, property taxes continue rising. Wade Pfau's research shows that property tax increases often outpace Social Security cost of living adjustments. A $300,000 home might cost $4,000 annually in property taxes today, but could reach $7,000 in 20 years. Maintenance costs also escalate as both you and your home age. Healthcare represents the largest wildcard in retirement budgeting. The Employee Benefit Research Institute found that a healthy 65-year-old couple needs approximately $300,000 saved just for medical expenses throughout retirement. This figure excludes long-term care, which affects 70% of retirees, according to the Department of Health and Human Services. What makes healthcare planning particularly challenging is its unpredictability. You might enjoy perfect health at 65, but face significant medical expenses at 78. Inflation acts like a slow leak in your retirement tire. Money that buys groceries for a week today might only cover 4 days in 20 years. Ed Slott emphasizes that retirees often forget to account for this gradual erosion of purchasing power. A $50,000 annual budget today becomes approximately $90,000 in 20 years, with modest 3% inflation. The longevity factor compounds every other expense. Americans retiring at 65 today have a 50% chance of living past 90. This extended lifespan means your money must last potentially 30 years or more. Mike Piper's calculations show that extending your retirement from 20 to 30 years requires roughly 40% more savings. Creating an accurate expense picture requires examining your current spending patterns and adjusting for retirement realities. Start with your existing budget and subtract work-related expenses like commuting costs and professional clothing. Then add retirement-specific costs like increased healthcare premiums and leisure activities. Factor in a 15% buffer for unexpected expenses, because retirement rarely unfolds exactly as planned. The exercise becomes more concrete when you examine real retiree budgets. Suze Orman's client analysis reveals that successful retirees typically spend 85% of their pre-retirement income during their first decade of retirement. This percentage helps establish a baseline for your planning calculations while acknowledging that individual circumstances vary significantly. Part 4. The Magic Number. Finding your retirement goal. When David Copperfield reached his 70s, the renowned magician discovered something remarkable about retirement planning that most financial advisors never mention. His retirement target number had changed 17 times throughout his career, yet he successfully retired with complete financial security. The secret wasn't finding the perfect calculation. It was understanding that your retirement goal serves as a North Star, not a rigid destination carved in stone. The concept of a magic number for retirement has captivated financial planners for decades, but the reality proves far more nuanced than any single formula suggests. Christine Benz's research at Morningstar reveals that successful retirees typically need between 10 to 12 times their final working year's salary saved by retirement. However, this multiplier approach only tells part of the story. Consider the case of Maria Gonzalez, a teacher from Phoenix who meticulously calculated she needed $1.2 million to retire comfortably. 5 years before her planned retirement, healthcare costs in her area skyrocketed, and she realized her number needed adjustment. Rather than panic, she understood that her target was a flexible guideline, not a failure if it required modification. The 4% withdrawal rule provides another starting point for calculations. If you can live comfortably on $60,000 annually, you would need $1.5 million saved. This rule assumes you can safely withdraw 4% of your retirement savings each year without depleting your nest egg. Wade Pfau's extensive research shows this rule works in roughly 90% of historical scenarios, though recent market conditions suggest a more conservative 3.5% might prove safer. Mike Piper's simplified approach offers practical clarity. Calculate your expected annual expenses in retirement, multiply by 25, and you have a reasonable target. If retirement costs $50,000 yearly, aim for $1.25 million. This method assumes a 4% withdrawal rate and provides a quick estimate without complex calculations. However, the most successful retirement planners recognize that circumstances change. Chris Hogan's research with millionaire retirees shows they adjust their targets every 3 to 5 years based on life changes, market conditions, and evolving goals. The key insight: your magic number should inspire action, not create paralysis through perfectionist thinking. Ed Slott emphasizes that tax considerations dramatically impact your effective retirement number. A $1 million traditional 401k might only provide $700,000 in spending power after taxes, while a Roth IRA delivers the full amount tax-free. These distinctions matter significantly when calculating your target. The Bogleheads community advocates for building flexibility into your retirement equation. Rather than obsessing over precision, focus on consistent saving and reasonable estimates. Market returns, inflation, and personal circumstances will inevitably require adjustments to your original calculations. Your retirement target represents a living document that evolves with your journey. Start with a reasonable estimate using simple multipliers, then refine your calculations as retirement approaches. The magic lies not in mathematical precision, but in taking action toward a flexible goal that adapts to life's inevitable changes. Chapter 2: Growing Your Nest Egg. Smart Money Moves, Part 1: Building Your Savings Without Stress. Most people believe saving money requires radical lifestyle changes, but research from Fidelity shows that households making modest adjustments to spending habits save 15% more annually than those attempting dramatic overhauls. The secret lies not in deprivation, but in creating systems that work seamlessly with your existing life. Start with what behavioral economists call the pay yourself first principle. When Walmart implemented automatic 401k enrollment in 2010, employee participation jumped from 67% to 91% simply by making saving the default choice rather than an active decision. You can replicate this by setting up automatic transfers from checking to savings the day after payday. Even $25 per week compounds to over $1,300 annually, plus interest. Christine Benz from Morningstar discovered that successful savers focus on 3 high-impact areas rather than cutting every small expense. Housing, transportation, and food typically consume 70% of most budgets. A family earning $60,000 who refinances their mortgage, drives their car 2 years longer, and meal plans can save $3,000 annually without feeling deprived. The latte factor, popularized by financial advisors, often misses the bigger picture. While tracking every coffee purchase creates awareness, research from the Consumer Expenditure Survey shows that subscription services and impulse online purchases drain more wealth than daily coffee. Netflix CEO Reed Hastings noted that the average household maintains 2.8 streaming subscriptions they barely use. Auditing these forgotten monthly charges often yields $100 to $300 in immediate savings. Ed Slott, a retirement tax specialist, emphasizes that where you save matters as much as how much. A teacher contributing $200 monthly to a traditional 401k versus a Roth IRA could see a $50,000 difference over 30 years due to tax treatment. Understanding these account types prevents costly mistakes that compound over decades. Real progress comes from what researchers call habit stacking. After grocery shopping, transfer the amount you saved with coupons to savings. When you pay off a car loan, continue making that same payment to yourself. These psychological tricks leverage existing routines rather than creating new ones. Market volatility shouldn't derail consistent saving. During the 2008 financial crisis, investors who maintained steady contributions bought more shares at lower prices, recovering losses 18 months faster than those who stopped saving. The key is viewing market downturns as sales rather than disasters. Patience truly pays. A janitor named Ronald Reed accumulated $8 million by consistently investing modest amounts in dividend-paying stocks over 50 years. His secret wasn't high income or complex strategies, but unwavering consistency and time. Your retirement success depends more on showing up regularly than getting everything perfect from the start. Part 2. The Power of Simple, Low-Cost Investing. In 1976, John Bogle created the first index fund, and Wall Street laughed. They called it Bogle's Folly because it seemed impossible to make money by simply matching market performance rather than trying to beat it. Today, that same approach has made ordinary investors wealthy, while many sophisticated strategies have failed spectacularly. The beauty of simple investing lies in what doesn't happen. You don't need to research individual stocks, time the market, or pay hefty fees to managers who may or may not deliver results. Index funds automatically buy a slice of hundreds or thousands of companies, spreading your risk across the entire market. When you purchase shares in a total stock market index fund, you essentially own a tiny piece of Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and every other major company. Consider the numbers that changed everything. Between 1993 and 2013, the average equity mutual fund returned 9.85% annually, while the S&P 500 index returned 10.35%. That half percentage point difference might seem trivial, but over 20 years, a $10,000 investment grew to $65,000 in the average fund versus $73,000 in the index fund. the $8,000 difference represents the real cost of complexity. Warren Buffett proved this point definitively. In 2008, he bet $1 million that a simple S&P 500 index fund would outperform a collection of hedge funds over 10 years. The hedge funds, managed by brilliant minds with sophisticated strategies, returned 36% total. The boring index fund returned 125%. Buffett donated his winnings to charity. Low fees transform wealth accumulation in ways most people never calculate. A fund charging 0.05% annually versus one charging 1.5% might seem like a minor difference. However, on a $100,000 portfolio growing at 7% over 30 years, the high-fee fund costs you nearly $200,000 in lost wealth. Those seemingly small percentages compound relentlessly against your favor. The key insight that professionals understand but rarely share is this: markets generally rise over long periods, but individual stocks frequently disappoint. By owning the entire market through index funds, you guarantee receiving whatever returns the market delivers, without the risk of picking the wrong companies or timing entries poorly. Starting early amplifies these advantages dramatically. A 25-year-old investing $200 monthly in low-cost index funds will likely accumulate more wealth by retirement than a 35-year-old investing $400 monthly. Even though the older investor contributes nearly twice as much total money, time transforms modest contributions into substantial wealth through compound growth. Market downturns actually benefit long-term index investors. During the 2020 pandemic crash, those who continued investing bought shares at discounted prices. Within 18 months, they had recovered all losses and gained significantly. The secret is viewing volatility as opportunity rather than threat, knowing that patient investors consistently profit from other people's panic. Part 3. Avoiding common money traps and taxes. The financial services industry profits handsomely from your lack of awareness about fees and taxes. One study by Morningstar found that high-fee investments can consume up to 40% of your potential retirement savings over 30 years. Meanwhile, tax inefficiencies can silently drain another 20 to 30% from your nest egg if you're not paying attention. Consider the trap that caught millions during the late 1990s tech boom. Investors chased hot mutual funds with expense ratios above 2%, thinking higher fees meant better performance. These same funds often generated massive taxable distributions, even when losing money. Investors faced double punishment: poor returns and hefty tax bills. Today's equivalent might be trendy thematic ETFs or cryptocurrency investments that promise quick riches but deliver expensive lessons. The fee trap extends beyond obvious investment expenses. Many retirement accounts come loaded with administrative fees, surrender charges, and hidden costs buried in fine print. Variable annuities represent perhaps the worst offender, with total annual costs often exceeding 3%. A $100,000 investment in such a product might generate $300,000 less wealth over 25 years compared to a simple index fund charging 0.1%. Tax inefficiency creates equally devastating damage. Traditional IRA owners often make the costly mistake of delaying withdrawals until age 73, when required minimum distributions force them into higher tax brackets. Ed Slott, a retirement tax expert, calls this the tax time bomb. Smart retirees begin strategic Roth conversions in their early 60s, paying taxes at lower rates while they control their income. Asset location matters tremendously for tax efficiency. Holding tax-inefficient investments like REITs or high-dividend stocks in taxable accounts, while keeping tax-efficient index funds in retirement accounts, reverses optimal strategy. The difference can cost thousands annually in unnecessary taxes. Timing Social Security benefits requires similar strategic thinking. Each year you delay claiming between full retirement age and 70 increases your benefit by 8%. Yet many people claim early, often motivated by fear or impatience, reducing their lifetime benefits by hundreds of thousands of dollars. Municipal bonds present another common misstep. Investors in low tax brackets often choose tax-free municipal bonds, thinking they're automatically better, not realizing that taxable bonds might provide superior after-tax returns. The math matters more than the marketing. Avoiding these traps requires vigilance and education. Read fund prospectuses, compare total expense ratios, and understand your tax situation before making moves. Consider professional guidance for complex decisions, but remember that even advisors can create conflicts if they earn commissions from products they recommend. The goal isn't avoiding all risk or fees, but ensuring every dollar you pay serves your retirement dreams rather than someone else's profit margins. Part 4. Making your money work in every season. When Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway faced the 2008 financial crisis, the legendary investor didn't panic sell or drastically change course. Instead, he adapted his strategy based on new market realities while maintaining his core principles. This flexibility transformed what could have been devastating losses into opportunities, demonstrating how successful investors adjust their approach without abandoning their foundation. Your retirement savings need this same adaptive quality. Markets change, life throws curveballs, and what worked in your 30s might need tweaking in your 50s. The key lies not in rigid rules, but in responsive strategies that bend without breaking. Consider the target date fund approach pioneered by companies like Vanguard in the 1990s. These funds automatically shift from aggressive growth investments to conservative bonds as you age. A 35-year-old might have 90% stocks, while a 60-year-old sees that allocation drop to 60%. This isn't timing the market. It's acknowledging that your risk tolerance should evolve with your time horizon. But automated solutions don't address every situation. Take Sarah Chen, a software engineer who discovered her company stock comprised 60% of her retirement portfolio during the dot-com bubble. She gradually reduced this concentration over 2 years, selling portions during market highs and diversifying into international funds and bonds. When the tech crash hit, her balanced approach protected decades of savings. Rebalancing creates similar protection. Suppose your target allocation is 70% stocks and 30% bonds. After a bull market runs, stocks might represent 80% of your portfolio. Rebalancing means selling some winners and buying more bonds, forcing you to sell high and buy low. Research from Morningstar shows this discipline can add 0.35% annually to returns while reducing volatility. Economic seasons demand different responses too. During the 2010 bull market, many investors maximized 401k contributions and took calculated risks with growth stocks. When inflation surged in 2022, smart savers shifted some assets into Treasury inflation-protected securities, TIPS, and real estate investment trusts that historically outpace rising prices. Your earning power creates its own seasons. Early career years might emphasize aggressive growth through index funds. Mid-career promotions open opportunities for catch-up contributions and Roth conversions. Approaching retirement calls for gradually building cash reserves and considering bond ladders for predictable income. Market downturns test every strategy, but they also create opportunities. The 2020 pandemic crash allowed disciplined investors to buy quality stocks at discounted prices. Those who panicked and sold missed the subsequent recovery. Having predetermined rules helps. Never sell during the first month of a market drop. Maintain 6 months of expenses in cash and view volatility as a feature rather than a bug. Geographic diversification adds another layer of protection. While U.S. markets dominated the 2010s, international stocks outperformed during various periods in the 2000s. Emerging markets, developed international funds, and domestic holdings each shine in different economic environments. The most successful retirement savers treat their portfolios like gardens requiring seasonal care. They plant diverse seeds, water during dry spells, prune what's overgrown, and harvest when ready. This patient, adaptive approach transforms retirement planning from a guessing game into a systematic journey toward financial security. Chapter 3: Turning Savings into Income, Making It Last. Part 1: When and How to Tap Your Savings. When Sarah Martinez opened her first retirement account statement after stopping work, her hands trembled slightly. The woman who had confidently managed corporate budgets for decades suddenly felt overwhelmed by the prospect of spending money she had spent 30 years accumulating. This emotional shift from saver to spender represents one of retirement's most challenging psychological hurdles. The timing of your first withdrawal matters more than most people realize. Janet Thompson learned this lesson when she retired in March 2008, just as the financial crisis began. Her advisor had recommended the standard 4% withdrawal rule, but with markets plummeting, she watched her account balance shrink dramatically in her first retirement year. Today, financial experts recommend a more flexible approach, starting with 3 to 3.5% and adjusting based on market conditions and personal needs. Creating a withdrawal sequence strategy can protect your savings for decades. Think of your retirement accounts like layers of an onion. Your taxable accounts form the outer layer, providing immediate access without penalties. Next come Roth IRAs, which offer tax-free growth and no required minimum distributions during your lifetime. Traditional IRAs and 401ks sit at the center, growing tax-deferred but requiring withdrawals starting at age 73. Consider the case of Robert Chen, a retired engineer who methodically planned his withdrawal sequence. He first spent down his taxable investment account during his early retirement years when his tax rate was lower. This approach allowed his tax-advantaged accounts to continue growing while he lived in a lower tax bracket. By age 70, when he began Social Security and eventually required minimum distributions, he had successfully managed his tax burden across multiple decades. The emotional challenge of spending your nest egg often surprises new retirees. Financial planner Christine Benz observes that many clients struggle with what she calls spending paralysis. They fear running out of money so intensely that they live far below their means, sometimes to their detriment. Creating a structured withdrawal plan helps address this anxiety by providing clear guidelines and regular reviews. One effective strategy involves creating multiple buckets for different time horizons. Your immediate bucket covers 1 to 2 years of expenses in cash or short-term bonds. The intermediate bucket holds 3 to 7 years of expenses in conservative investments. The long-term bucket contains growth investments for expenses beyond 7 years. This approach provides psychological comfort by ensuring near-term needs are covered, while allowing long-term growth potential. Market volatility adds another layer of complexity. During bear markets, consider reducing withdrawals temporarily or drawing from your cash reserve rather than selling investments at depressed prices. This flexibility can significantly extend your portfolio's longevity. Remember that retirement isn't a financial sprint, but a marathon requiring patience, adaptability, and regular course corrections based on changing circumstances. Part 2: Social Security. Unlocking your benefits. When Patty from Denver turned 62, her friends all had different advice about Social Security. Some claimed early at 62, while others insisted waiting until 70 was smarter. The contradictory guidance left her paralyzed with indecision. What she discovered next saved her thousands in lifetime benefits and could transform your retirement income too. Social Security represents the foundation of most Americans' retirement income. Yet misconceptions about this program abound. The most persistent myth suggests you should claim benefits as soon as possible because the program might go broke. While Social Security does face long-term funding challenges, even worst-case scenarios project reduced benefits, not complete elimination. This fear-based thinking costs retirees significant money. Understanding your full retirement age, FRA, forms the basis for all claiming decisions. If you were born between 1943 and 1954, your FRA is 66. For those born in 1960 or later, it's 67. Claiming before your FRA results in permanent reductions of up to 30%, while delaying until age 70 increases benefits by 8% annually. This delayed retirement credit stops at 70, making later claims financially pointless. Consider the real numbers. A person entitled to $2,000 monthly at FRA would receive only $1,400 if claiming at 62, but $2,640 if waiting until 70. Over a 20-year retirement, this difference amounts to $297,600 in additional lifetime benefits. The break-even point for waiting typically occurs around age 82, making longevity a crucial factor in your decision. Married couples face more complex strategies. Spousal benefits allow the lower-earning partner to receive up to 50% of the higher earner's FRA benefit. Survivor benefits provide the full amount of the deceased spouse's benefit if higher than their own. These rules create opportunities for strategic claiming sequences that maximize household Social Security income. The file and suspend strategy disappeared in 2016. But restricted application remains available for those born before 1954. This allows claiming spousal benefits while delaying personal benefits, though the window for this strategy continues shrinking. Tax implications add another layer of complexity. Social Security benefits become taxable when combined income exceeds $25,000 for individuals, or $32,000 for couples. Up to 85% of benefits may be taxable, making coordination with other retirement income sources essential. Smart retirees integrate Social Security with their withdrawal strategies. If your portfolio performs poorly in early retirement years, Social Security provides stable income while allowing investments to recover. Conversely, strong market performance might justify claiming Social Security earlier to reduce portfolio withdrawal pressure. Health considerations matter significantly. Family longevity history, current health status, and access to quality health care should influence your claiming timeline. Someone with serious health issues at 62 might benefit more from immediate claiming than waiting for higher benefits they may never collect. The claiming decision becomes irreversible after 12 months, except in rare circumstances. This permanence demands careful analysis of your complete financial picture, not just Social Security rules in isolation. Part 3. Managing medical costs and Medicare basics. Healthcare expenses can consume 15% or more of a typical retiree's budget. Yet most people approaching retirement drastically underestimate these costs. Fidelity's 2023 research shows the average retired couple needs approximately $300,000 saved specifically for healthcare throughout retirement, a figure that shocks many who assumed Medicare would cover everything. Medicare forms the foundation of retirement healthcare, but understanding its components prevents costly surprises. Medicare Part A covers hospital stays and comes automatically when you claim Social Security at 65. Part B handles doctor visits and outpatient services, requiring monthly premiums that increase with higher incomes. These premiums can reach $500 monthly for couples earning over $194,000 annually, a detail that catches many high earners off guard. The coverage gaps in basic Medicare create significant financial exposure. Traditional Medicare covers roughly 80% of approved medical costs, leaving you responsible for the remaining 20% with no annual cap. A single major illness could generate tens of thousands in out-of-pocket expenses. Prescription drugs receive no coverage under basic Medicare, creating another substantial cost category. Medigap policies fill these gaps but require careful timing. You have a 6-month window starting when you turn 65 and enroll in Part B to purchase Medigap coverage without medical underwriting. Miss this window, and insurance companies can deny coverage or charge higher premiums based on your health status. Janet, a retired teacher from Ohio, learned this lesson expensively when she delayed Medigap enrollment and later faced $800 monthly premiums due to her diabetes diagnosis. Medicare Advantage presents an alternative approach, combining parts A, B, and often D into single plans managed by private insurers. These plans typically offer lower monthly costs, but restrict you to specific provider networks. For retirees who travel extensively or split time between states, network limitations can create access problems. Long-term care represents the largest healthcare wildcard in retirement planning. Medicare provides minimal long-term care coverage, yet 70% of people over 65 will need some form of extended care. The national average for nursing home care exceeds $100,000 annually, with costs varying dramatically by region. In New York City, quality nursing home care can cost $150,000 yearly, while similar care in rural Alabama might cost $60,000. Health savings accounts offer powerful preparation tools for those still working. After age 65, HSA funds can be withdrawn for any purpose without penalties, though you'll pay income tax on non-medical withdrawals. For medical expenses, HSA withdrawals remain tax-free forever, making them incredibly valuable for retirement healthcare funding. Planning healthcare costs requires honest assessment of family health history and current conditions. Someone with diabetes might budget $3,000 annually for medications and monitoring supplies, while those with family histories of Alzheimer's should consider long-term care insurance early when premiums remain manageable. Starting these conversations with financial advisors and healthcare providers before age 60 allows time for strategic preparation rather than crisis management. Part 4. Protecting your nest egg from risks. When firefighters responded to the 2008 financial crisis, many discovered their retirement accounts had lost 30% or more overnight. Betty Richardson, a Detroit schoolteacher planning to retire in 2009, watched her 401k plummet from $320,000 to $220,000 in 6 months. Yet those who had built proper safeguards recovered and thrived. The difference between financial devastation and mild inconvenience lies in how well you protect your retirement savings from life's inevitable curveballs. Think of retirement protection like building a fortress around a medieval castle. Your savings represent the treasure inside, but without proper walls, moats, and guards, invaders will eventually breach your defenses. The most dangerous enemies attacking retirement savings come in 3 forms: inflation eating purchasing power, market volatility destroying account values, and unexpected expenses draining resources faster than anticipated. Inflation operates like a slow poison, reducing what your money can buy each year. Consider this: a $4,000 monthly budget today requires $5,200 monthly in just 10 years at 3% inflation. Many retirees discover their fixed pensions buy progressively less groceries, utilities, and healthcare. Smart planners combat inflation by maintaining some growth investments even in retirement. Financial advisor Christine Benz recommends keeping 30 to 40% of portfolios in stocks during early retirement years, gradually reducing this percentage as you age. Market volatility poses a different threat, especially during your first decade of retirement, when sequence of returns risk peaks. If markets crash early in retirement while you're withdrawing money, your portfolio may never recover. This happened to many who retired in 2000 to 2002 and faced both tech bubble collapse and early 2000s recession. The solution involves creating multiple layers of protection. Keep 2 years of expenses in cash or short-term bonds, allowing market investments time to recover during downturns. Emergency funds become even more critical during retirement, since you cannot easily replace income through overtime or career advancement. Wade Pfau suggests retirees maintain larger emergency reserves than working adults, typically covering 6 to 12 months of expenses. This money sits separately from regular retirement accounts, accessible immediately for roof repairs, medical emergencies, or family crises. Insurance forms another crucial protection layer. Health insurance bridges Medicare gaps, while long-term care insurance protects against devastating nursing home costs, averaging $108,000 annually. Disability income insurance becomes less relevant, but life insurance may still protect surviving spouses from reduced Social Security benefits. Creating financial buffers means building flexibility into withdrawal strategies. Instead of rigidly taking 4% annually, successful retirees adjust withdrawals based on market conditions and personal circumstances. During strong market years, they might withdraw slightly more, building cash reserves for leaner periods. The key insight? Protection costs money up front, but saves fortunes during crises. Those who skip insurance, emergency funds, and diversification often face devastating financial consequences when problems arise. Building comprehensive safeguards transforms retirement from anxious hoping into confident living, knowing your financial foundation can weather whatever storms emerge. Chapter 4. Living Your Best Retirement. More Than Money. Part 1. Finding Purpose Beyond the Paycheck. When Warren Buffett was asked about his retirement plans at age 93, he simply smiled and said he'd never retire because he was having too much fun. This response reveals a profound truth. The most fulfilled retirees aren't those who simply stop working, but those who discover what truly energizes them beyond earning a paycheck. The Harvard study of adult development, which tracked lives for over 80 years, found that retirees who maintained strong social connections and pursued meaningful activities lived longer, healthier lives than those who focused solely on leisure. This research challenges the traditional retirement narrative of endless golf rounds and beach vacations. While relaxation has its place, purpose provides the deeper satisfaction that sustains us through decades of retirement. Consider the story of Laura Carstensen, a Stanford psychology professor who founded the Stanford Center on Longevity. Her research revealed that older adults actually experience more positive emotions and greater life satisfaction when they engage in activities aligned with their values. This phenomenon, called socio-emotional selectivity, explains why many retirees thrive when they volunteer for causes they care about or pursue creative projects they previously lacked time to explore. The key lies in understanding what psychologists call intrinsic motivation versus extrinsic motivation. Throughout our careers, we often chase external rewards like salary increases or promotions. Retirement offers a unique opportunity to pursue activities that provide internal satisfaction. Dr. Mihai Csikszentmihalyi's groundbreaking research on flow states shows that people experience peak fulfillment when engaged in challenging activities that match their skills and interests. Take the example of Mark Benioff, Salesforce founder, who has increasingly focused his energy on philanthropic work as he approaches traditional retirement age. His transition illustrates how successful retirement planning involves gradually shifting from external validation to internal purpose. This doesn't require abandoning work entirely. Many retirees find fulfillment in part-time consulting, teaching, or entrepreneurial ventures that align with their passions rather than just their financial needs. The social aspect cannot be overstated. Research from the University of Michigan found that retirees who volunteered regularly showed improved cognitive function and reduced depression rates compared to their non-volunteering peers. Organizations like AARP Foundation and local community centers report that their most engaged volunteers often cite the social connections as equally valuable as the meaningful work itself. The transition requires intentional planning. Start by conducting what retirement coach Nancy Schlossberg calls a retirement audit. List activities that currently energize you, relationships that matter most, and causes you feel passionate about. This inventory becomes your roadmap for creating a retirement filled with purpose rather than just passing time. Remember, the goal isn't to fill every hour with activity, but to ensure that your days include elements that provide genuine satisfaction and connection. Part 2. balancing fun, freedom, and finances. When retirement coach Jim Patterson turned 65, he thought he had it all figured out. 15 years of meticulous saving, a healthy 401k, and a paid-off mortgage seemed like the perfect recipe for financial freedom. Yet 6 months into retirement, Patterson found himself miserable, afraid to spend money on anything beyond groceries and utilities. Watching his dream vacation fund grow larger while his social life withered away. Patterson's story mirrors a troubling pattern financial advisors witness daily. After decades of accumulating wealth, many retirees struggle with the psychological shift from saving to actually enjoying their money. The fear of outliving savings creates what researchers call spending anxiety, where retirees hoard resources instead of experiencing the freedom they worked so hard to achieve. The solution lies in creating what Suze Orman describes as permission to spend structures. Start by calculating your true monthly income from Social Security, pensions, and safe withdrawal rates from retirement accounts. Most financial experts suggest the 4% rule as a baseline, meaning you can safely withdraw 4% of your retirement portfolio annually without depleting principal. Once you establish this baseline, create 3 distinct spending categories. Essential expenses cover housing, food, healthcare, and utilities. This typically represents 60 to 70% of retirement income for most households. Next, allocate 15 to 20% for discretionary spending on entertainment, dining out, hobbies, and small luxuries. Finally, reserve 10 to 15% for experience spending. Those larger expenditures like travel, family visits, or pursuing lifelong dreams. Christine Benz's research reveals that retirees who actively budget for enjoyment report significantly higher life satisfaction than those who spend reactively or not at all. The key insight? Planned spending feels different psychologically than impulsive purchases. When you budget $200 monthly for restaurants or allocate $3,000 annually for travel, you remove the guilt and anxiety that often accompanies retirement spending. Consider the approach taken by retired teacher Maria Rodriguez from Phoenix. After calculating her safe spending rate, Rodriguez established automatic transfers to 3 separate accounts: bills, fun money, and adventures. This system gave her explicit permission to spend without constantly questioning whether she could afford it. Within 2 years, Rodriguez had visited her grandchildren in Seattle, taken up pottery classes, and joined a hiking group, all while maintaining her financial security. The most successful retirees treat enjoyment as seriously as they once treated saving. They recognize that money serves as a tool for creating experiences and maintaining relationships, not just accumulating numbers in accounts. Regular budget reviews ensure spending aligns with values while maintaining long-term sustainability. Remember, retirement represents the harvest season of your financial life. After decades of planting and tending your savings, the goal shifts to enjoying the fruits of your labor responsibly. The challenge isn't just making money last, but making life meaningful while it lasts. Part 3. Staying flexible in changing times. When Sarah's husband unexpectedly passed away 3 years into their retirement, everything she thought she knew about her golden years shifted overnight. The couple's carefully crafted plan assumed 2 Social Security checks, shared housing costs, and decades of togetherness. Suddenly, at 68, Sarah faced a reality millions of retirees eventually encounter. Life rarely follows the script we write at 55. The most resilient retirees share one crucial trait: they build flexibility into their plans from day one. Think of retirement planning like learning to sail rather than driving a car. Car routes remain predictable, but sailors constantly adjust their sails based on changing winds and currents. Your retirement plan needs similar adaptability. Consider establishing annual planned health checkups just as you would schedule medical examinations. Wade Pfau's research shows that retirees who review their strategies annually and make small course corrections fare significantly better than those who set their plans in stone. During these reviews, examine 3 key areas: your spending patterns, income sources, and health status. Market volatility presents another reason for staying nimble. The 2008 financial crisis taught many retirees harsh lessons about sequence of returns risk. Those who could temporarily reduce spending or find alternative income sources weathered the storm better than rigid planners. Ed Slott emphasizes that tax laws change frequently, affecting retirement account withdrawals and strategies. What seemed optimal 5 years ago might cost you thousands today. Health changes often force the biggest adjustments. Medicare costs can fluctuate dramatically based on income, and long-term care needs might emerge suddenly. Smart retirees maintain what Christine Benz calls Plan B flexibility, alternative scenarios for different health and mobility outcomes. Geographic flexibility offers another adaptation tool. Many successful retirees relocate to lower-cost areas when their original retirement budget proves insufficient. Others move closer to family as they age. Maintaining options rather than binding yourself to one location preserves valuable choices. The key lies in treating your retirement plan as a living document rather than a permanent contract. Suze Orman suggests reviewing major financial decisions every 2 to 3 years, but staying alert to changes that might require immediate attention. Economic shifts, family changes, health developments, or new opportunities should all trigger plan reconsideration. Technology offers modern retirees unprecedented flexibility. Online banking allows easy account management, telehealth provides remote medical consultations, and digital platforms create new income possibilities. Sarah eventually discovered freelance writing opportunities that supplemented her reduced household income while providing meaningful work. Remember that flexibility doesn't mean uncertainty. It means preparedness. By acknowledging that change is inevitable and building adaptable systems, you create a retirement that can bend without breaking when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Part 4. Leaving a Legacy, Your Final Gift. When Warren Buffett announced he would give away 99% of his wealth, he fundamentally changed how the world thinks about legacy. His decision proves that the most meaningful gifts often transcend dollar amounts, creating ripples that extend far beyond bank balances and trust fund distributions. Estate planning intimidates many retirees because they imagine complex legal documents and hefty attorney fees. Yet the most important decisions require nothing more than honest conversations and clear documentation. Consider the story of Jim Collins, who built a modest plumbing business in Ohio. Rather than focusing solely on asset distribution, Jim spent his final years recording video messages for each grandchild, explaining family values and sharing stories about overcoming financial hardships. His family treasures these recordings more than any inheritance check. The foundation of legacy planning starts with a simple will. Without one, state laws determine asset distribution, often creating outcomes that contradict your wishes entirely. Take the case of Prince, whose $156 million estate faced years of legal battles because he died without basic estate planning documents. This chaos could have been prevented with fundamental paperwork, costing less than most vacation trips. Tax efficiency becomes critical when transferring wealth. Ed Slott's research shows that retirement accounts like 401ks and traditional IRAs create tax time bombs for heirs who must pay income taxes on inherited funds. Smart planning involves converting some traditional retirement savings to Roth accounts during low-income retirement years, allowing tax-free transfers to beneficiaries. This strategy can save families thousands in unnecessary tax payments. Charitable giving offers powerful legacy opportunities while providing immediate tax benefits. The technique called bunching allows retirees to concentrate several years of charitable donations into single tax years, maximizing deductions. Additionally, donating appreciated stocks directly to charities eliminates capital gains taxes while supporting meaningful causes. Beyond financial transfers, document your values and wishes clearly. Create a simple letter explaining why certain decisions matter to you. Share stories about financial lessons learned through experience. Marie Thompson from Arizona wrote brief notes explaining the significance of family heirlooms, transforming ordinary objects into treasured memories for her children. Consider the emotional impact of your decisions on loved ones. Unequal distributions often create lasting family tensions, even when logical reasons exist. Open communication prevents misunderstandings and allows family members to understand your reasoning before emotional reactions take hold. Remember that legacy planning isn't reserved for the wealthy. Every family benefits from clear documentation of wishes, whether dealing with modest savings accounts or substantial portfolios. The peace of mind created by thoughtful planning becomes your final gift to those you love most. Ensuring your values live on, while minimizing stress during difficult times. Your legacy represents more than financial transfers. It embodies the wisdom, love, and care you've shown throughout your lifetime. Chapter 5. Your Retirement Playbook. Getting started today. Part 1. Simple steps to kickstart your plan. When most Americans check their retirement savings balance, they discover they have roughly $65,000 saved by age 55. According to the Federal Reserve's 2022 Survey of Consumer Finances. That might sound alarming, but here's the encouraging truth. Starting your retirement plan today matters more than the number currently in your account. Your first move should be calculating your retirement number. Christine Benz, Morningstar's Director of Personal Finance, suggests a simple formula. Multiply your desired annual retirement income by 25. Want $40,000 per year? You'll need roughly $1 million saved. This might seem daunting, but remember that Social Security typically replaces about 40% of pre-retirement income for average earners. Begin by opening your Social Security account at ssa.gov and reviewing your earnings history. Suze Orman consistently emphasizes this step because errors appear on roughly 40% of records. Next, list every retirement account you own, including old 401ks from previous employers. Ed Slott, the IRA expert, warns that forgotten accounts often miss critical required distributions, triggering unnecessary tax penalties. Set up automatic contributions immediately, even if you start with just $25 per month. Behavioral finance research from Richard Thaler shows that automation removes the daily decision fatigue around saving. If your employer offers a 401k match, contribute enough to capture the full amount. This represents an immediate 100% return on investment. Consider your age when choosing investments. The Bogleheads community recommends holding your age in bonds as a percentage. A 40-year-old might allocate 40% to bonds and 60% to stock index funds. Wade Pfau's research demonstrates that simple, low-cost index funds often outperform complex investment strategies over decades. Address high-interest debt simultaneously with retirement savings. Mike Piper's analysis reveals that paying off credit card debt at 18% interest provides a guaranteed return that beats most investment options. However, don't delay retirement contributions until debt disappears entirely. Track your progress quarterly, not daily. Mark Miller's research with near retirees shows that frequent account checking creates anxiety and leads to poor decision-making during market volatility. Instead, focus on contribution consistency and gradual increases. Start today, regardless of your current situation. A 50-year-old beginning with nothing who saves $500 monthly at 7% annual returns will accumulate approximately $175,000 by age 67. While not luxurious, this provides a foundation when combined with Social Security benefits. Remember that retirement planning extends beyond money. More Than Money's research indicates that retirees with clear purposes and social connections report higher satisfaction levels regardless of wealth. Begin envisioning your ideal retirement lifestyle alongside building your financial foundation. The most successful retirement savers share one trait: they started. Your plan doesn't need perfection, it needs activation. Every month you delay costs compound growth that time cannot recover. Part 2. Tools and tricks to stay on track. When Mint shut down in 2023, after serving 25 million users, countless retirees scrambled to find alternatives. This disruption revealed a harsh truth. Many people had become overly dependent on a single tool to manage their entire financial future. The most successful retirement savers build redundant systems that work even when individual apps disappear or market conditions shift. Modern technology offers remarkable shortcuts for retirement tracking, but the key lies in creating multiple checkpoints rather than relying on any single solution. Personal Capital, now Empower, survived the financial app consolidation and continues helping users track net worth across multiple accounts. YNAB, You Need a Budget, takes a different approach, focusing on intentional spending that maximizes retirement contributions. Both serve distinct purposes in a well-rounded system. Financial calculators provide reality checks that prevent costly mistakes. Fidelity's retirement calculator showed Maria, a 45-year-old teacher from Ohio, that her current savings rate would leave her $300,000 short of her retirement goal. This wake-up call prompted her to increase contributions by just 2%, ultimately closing that gap completely. Similarly, Social Security's official calculator at ssa.gov reveals exactly how claiming strategies affect lifetime benefits. Professional guidance becomes invaluable during major life transitions. Fee-only financial advisors charge transparent rates without selling products, making them ideal for objective retirement advice. The National Association of Personal Financial Advisors maintains a database of qualified professionals who adhere to fiduciary standards. Even one annual session can identify overlooked opportunities worth thousands in retirement income. Regular check-ins prevent small problems from becoming major setbacks. Warren Buffett reviews Berkshire Hathaway's performance quarterly, and retirement savers should adopt similar discipline. Schedule monthly account reviews to track progress, rebalance investments, and adjust contributions. These brief sessions often reveal opportunities like employer match increases or catch-up contribution eligibility. Automation handles routine maintenance while you focus on bigger decisions. Schwab's automatic rebalancing maintains target allocations without emotional interference. Vanguard's target date funds adjust risk levels as retirement approaches, requiring minimal oversight. These systems work best when paired with annual reviews that ensure your automated choices still align with changing goals. Document everything in simple formats that others can understand. Create a one-page summary listing all accounts, beneficiaries, and important contacts. Update this annually and share copies with trusted family members. When market volatility struck in 2022, retirees with clear documentation could quickly assess their situation and make informed decisions rather than panicking. The most effective tracking systems combine high-tech convenience with low-tech backup plans. Keep paper records of major milestones and take screenshots of online statements. This redundancy proved crucial during the 2008 financial crisis, when some brokerage websites crashed just as investors needed information most urgently. Part 3. Overcoming Roadblocks and Doubts. When surveyed by AARP in 2023, nearly 70% of Americans admitted they felt completely overwhelmed by retirement planning, with many postponing crucial decisions for years due to fear and uncertainty. This paralysis costs thousands in potential compound growth. The truth about retirement planning roadblocks? Most stem from 3 core fears that financial advisors encounter daily. First comes the fear of making mistakes. Sarah, a 45-year-old teacher from Ohio, spent 2 years researching investment options without taking action because she worried about choosing the wrong fund. Her perfectionism cost her $8,400 in missed compound growth during those hesitant years. Second is the fear of insufficient money. Mark, a factory worker earning $52,000 annually, believed retirement planning was only for wealthy people. He discovered through his company's financial wellness program that even $50 monthly contributions could grow to substantial amounts over time. His mindset shifted when he calculated that his daily coffee shop visits cost more than meaningful retirement contributions. The third obstacle involves feeling too late to start. At age 55, Linda felt hopeless about retirement after divorcing and starting over financially. Working with a fee-only financial planner, she learned that aggressive catch-up contributions could still create a decent nest egg. Her story demonstrates that late starters often possess advantages like higher incomes and clearer priorities. Building confidence requires replacing overwhelm with small, manageable actions. Financial planner Christine Benz suggests the 1% solution: increase retirement contributions by just 1% annually. This approach feels painless, yet creates significant long-term impact. Companies like Vanguard report that employees using automatic escalation save 40% more than those making manual adjustments. Professional guidance doesn't require expensive ongoing relationships. Many fee-only advisors offer hourly consultations for specific questions. The XY Planning Network connects younger professionals with affordable financial planners who understand modern retirement challenges. Even robo-advisors like Betterment provide algorithm-based portfolio management at fraction of traditional costs. When market volatility strikes, remember that successful retirees focus on time horizons rather than daily fluctuations. During the 2008 crisis, investors who maintained their contribution schedules ultimately benefited from purchasing shares at lower prices. Those who panicked and stopped contributing missed significant recovery gains. Setbacks are temporary detours, not permanent roadblocks. Job loss, medical expenses, or family emergencies may temporarily reduce retirement contributions. The key involves resuming as soon as circumstances allow, rather than abandoning the plan entirely. Suze Orman emphasizes that financial setbacks often teach valuable lessons about prioritizing essential versus discretionary spending. Create accountability through simple systems. Schedule quarterly retirement dates with yourself to review progress and adjust strategies. Share goals with trusted family members who can provide encouragement during difficult periods. Remember that every dollar contributed today works harder than dollars contributed tomorrow due to compound growth potential. Part 4. Celebrating milestones and staying motivated. When Jerry Seinfeld sells his first television script, he doesn't celebrate by immediately writing another. Instead, he creates his famous "Don't Break the Chain" calendar system, marking each day he writes with a big red X. What started as simple progress tracking becomes the foundation of his legendary career. Your retirement journey deserves the same systematic celebration and momentum-building approach. Christine Benz of Morningstar discovered through extensive research that people who celebrate financial milestones are 73% more likely to reach their long-term retirement goals. Yet most Americans treat retirement planning like homework rather than life's greatest adventure. This mindset shift from obligation to celebration transforms everything about your approach to financial freedom. Start by establishing meaningful milestone markers. When you reach your first $1,000 in retirement savings, take a photo of your account statement and share it with someone who matters to you. Wade Pfau's research shows that people who externally acknowledge their progress create powerful accountability loops. Your brain begins associating retirement contributions with positive social feedback rather than sacrifice. Create celebration rituals that reinforce positive behavior without derailing your budget. Mark Miller suggests the 1% celebration rule, where you spend 1% of each milestone achievement on something meaningful. Reach $5,000 in savings? Treat yourself to a $50 dinner with your partner while discussing your next goal. This approach maintains momentum without creating financial guilt. Technology amplifies your celebration potential. Apps like Personal Capital send automatic congratulations, when you hit savings targets. But consider upgrading these digital nudges. Chris Hogan recommends creating a retirement vision board that you update with each achievement. Add photos of the vacation home, the grandchildren's college funds, or the volunteer work you'll pursue. Visual progress tracking activates different neural pathways than simple number watching. Share your journey strategically. Ed Slott emphasizes that retirement planning conversations with family create generational wealth awareness. When you celebrate paying off your mortgage early or maximizing your 401k match, you're modeling financial responsibility for children and grandchildren. These moments become family folklore that influences financial behaviors for decades. Reframe setbacks as plot twists rather than failures. Suze Orman's research reveals that 89% of successful retirees experienced at least one major financial setback during their journey. The difference lies in how they process these events. Instead of viewing market downturns or unexpected expenses as disasters, treat them as character-building chapters in your retirement story. The Bogleheads community exemplifies joyful retirement planning through their annual conferences where members share success stories, learning experiences, and milestone celebrations. These gatherings transform solitary financial management into communal achievement. Consider joining or creating similar support networks where retirement progress becomes shared celebration rather than private struggle. Your retirement planning journey represents one of life's most empowering adventures. Each contribution, each smart decision, each course correction writes another page in your freedom story. Celebrate these moments, not as endpoints, but as evidence of your growing financial strength and expanding possibilities.